This is how to build a bike shed.
Thank you, Adrian.
Was there a talk earlier on how to configure your displays?
Yeah, I had that talk yesterday.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
It's all part of the
it's all
talk.
part of the talk, man.
How's everyone feeling? Good morning, Portland.
Good morning, Portland!
Good afternoon, Cleveland.
How do I make it show the whole thing? Isn't that like...
We're professional computers.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Like, you guys don't spend your day doing this.
Isn't there like a... We started, man.
Don't rush us. It's going to make us later.
This is it. This is the show. This is what you came for. What do you... Are you not entertained? Okay.
I didn't really get properly debriefed. You're not going to injure me on stage again, are you? Okay.
All right, we're just... Which one? Oh, hey, thank you. Oh, look at that. Okay.
You're hired.
Woo! Web developers. All right. So, hi, everybody.
Who are we?
Hi, Adam.
Hi, David.
So, Adam and I took upon ourselves the task of building a bike shed.
No one asked us. We just decided to do it one day.
We didn't realize we needed permission. So, we figured, what could go wrong? And this is our story. And this is us getting ready to begin.
I'd like you to know how new those tools are. This.
Yeah, I showed this picture to I have a little 2.5-year-old boy, and he really likes tools and stuff, and he doesn't really understand what I do. So, like, I showed him this picture, and he's like, "Do you use those tools at work?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I absolutely do, son." And then he asked, Did you cut off Mr. Adams' arm?" Yes. Yes, I did.
So every time I go over there now, I have to hide an arm. It's really kind of
awkward.
annoying. But you know, friendships are like that sometimes. You make sacrifices.
Sacrifices for the next generation. Okay, so here's the task. The Olympic Mills Commerce Center. Perhaps you've seen it. Perhaps you've driven by if you're from Portland. It's the big yellow building a little bit that way, not very far from here. This is where we work at Z Health Documentation. And we decided there's no bike shed around this building, and it needs one because, as we all know, conservation is important.
2 wheels good, 4 wheels bad.
So, we asked ourselves, what is a shed? We looked, and so a shed, as it turns out, is just it's a simple structure, usually made of wood and metal, used as a storage space, or it can even be a larger structure, typically with one or more sides, and you can put things inside of it, such as vehicles, machinery. And that was a pretty good start, right?
I thought so.
Yeah. We decided to look a little bit deeper. What is a bicycle shed? So it turns out there's a rich history behind the word bike shed, encompassing many cultures and thousands of years. From Latin, we have the prefix bi, meaning two. All the way from ancient Greek, we have kuklos, where we get cycle, meaning circle. This, by the way, is the same as the root word in cyclops, circle eye, in case you were wondering. And then finally, we have from the Old English schaden, we get shed. The verb means to separate or divide. So We put these together. We see that like bike sheds are really all about separating or dividing two circles. Okay? The root idea here. We're going to try to like let that inform our process as we go through.
Critical.
Core principles. Two circles. No overlap. Right? Separate the circles. So, no, not like this.
Yeah, it's a huge fail. That's
Right.
absolutely what we're not aiming for. This is not a bike shed in the strictest definition, as we've covered.
The problem here you see is the overlap. These two circles are touching one another. And that's what we're trying to prevent. Okay? It's the historical consciousness involved. All right?
Keep going. I mean, this is an important point. Let's drive this home.
So what we're going for is this.
Yes.
All right? The two circles, notice no overlap. Key.
Each
Okay?
circle stands alone. No touching.
No touching. So let's get into details, huh? Placement. Okay, a few things to consider. Which side of the building are we going to put it on? Notice the compass, a circle, okay?
Recurring theme.
Recurring theme, all right? Which side of the building does the bike shed go on?
What are our options?
East or west?
Good.
So both good choices, really. One, the morning sun, or the evening sun.
What about north?
North, well, we got to consider our latitude, right? Where are we? 45 degrees north latitude, thereabouts? Yeah. So
That sounds good.
I think that means what? We get more southern sun?
I believe so, yeah.
Right. So, okay. That's the thing with the south side, right? The south side, since this is 45 degrees north latitude, south side of the building is going to get the most sun. That means the bicycles are going to get hotter.
Do we accept questions?
Sure. Yeah.
Father?
Questions? Yes.
The south side,
Yes.
is that usually a big nesting place for Obi and
For what?
Obi and Gwen Stefani?
Gwen Stefani?
These are really good questions.
I've never seen her at Mitch's.
No, I haven't either.
So-
Mitch is our coffee
She could,
person.
yeah. Is Gwen on the third? She might be on the third floor. I think they have their own
I've
coffee
honestly
machine.
never seen another person in the building.
Haven't you?
No.
Okay. We'll get
Only-
back to
only
you.
in the
We're going to
coffee
check into
shop.
that. We're going to make a note. We're going to look. Okay, cool. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, south side gets the most sun. Bicycles get hotter. That's a concern because that can damage the paint. A lot of people care about the paint jobs on their bicycles. A lot of people here in Portland, you know, they get their bicycles from those fancy shops. They don't even look like bicycles.
It's true.
They look like some child misunderstood what a bicycle was and tried to construct a bicycle out of spare parts in the garage, right? And, you know, but people pay a lot of money for those, so you got to keep the sun off them. So the south side, I don't think so. East or west, you know, good choices. North side's good here. North side, minimal sun, but also darker.
Well, hang on a moment though.
Yeah,
This is really a really rainy climate,
right.
so maybe the sun will be beneficial on the 3 or 4 days a year that we get it to dry out the bicycles.
Right.
So should we really rule out?
Can we rule out the south
south
side?
side?
That's a good question.
Okay.
I mean, that's why I think the east side is the way to go, because you get a little bit of sun,
And
but
we're
not
on the
too
east
much.
side, and I like that synergy.
Yeah, the synergy, the morning sun, the rising,
Oh,
the morning energy.
yeah, I like it. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So, okay. All right. Great. East side, bicycles. Okay, moving on. Yeah, foundations. Okay,
Yes.
you're going to need one. That's for sure. So, ideas for foundations, you can use concrete or large rocks.
Yes.
The important thing is that you're going to want to dig a hole, okay?
How deep? How deep is the hole?
How deep? Yeah. I mean, it depends on how big the rocks are. Like, you don't want the rocks to go too far
At what point does a rock
down.
become like a boulder?
Yeah.
Have we determined?
This is kind of like
we're
a-
working through this. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to level with you guys. So we're working through some of the design stuff together right
There
now.
have been a few hang-ups along the way.
This is ongoing.
Yeah.
It's not completed, if anyone's curious.
Okay.
It never will be completed.
But you're going to dig a hole, and then you're going to want to fill it in with something, probably like concrete or big or large rocks. You can do both. You can put large rocks and you can surround them with the concrete. There's another
Very
way to go.
popular.
Yeah. Okay. So, but here's the important point. If those rocks are circular, you're going to want to make sure they stay apart from each other.
I can go back through the slides.
Right, because the
If there's any
circles need to not touch. Right?
No.
It's key. Key
Critical.
point. Critical point. Core principle of bike shed design. The two circles, they don't touch. Okay.
A foundational principle.
Radon can be, yeah. Radon can be an issue in Portland, right? How many of you
Yes.
own? Anyone of you own homes in Portland? Anybody out there own a home? Have you had your house checked for radon? Yes. Did they find any? Yes. Yeah. What were the levels? Do you remember? It was just below actual. What did you decide to do? Leave it alone. Okay. You got to do what you're comfortable with, you know. Anyway, with the bike shed though, radon's probably not a big concern. There's no subsurface area for the radon to accumulate. Also nobody really stays in the bike shed, and radon doesn't hurt bikes.
Well, technically that would be, I don't know if I can agree with that fully either. I mean, if we go with like a post and pier design, depending on the type of foundation, we might have a crawl space.
I thought we talked about this, Adam.
Well, I feel as though we're revisiting some of these decisions right now.
Why do you got to bring this up right now? We're on stage.
Well, because it's just you and I don't get that one-on-one time.
Okay, we'll
like
talk.
I had hoped to resolve this.
We'll talk about this later. Can we?
All right, I'll
we
open
need
another issue.
We need to
Yeah.
go to the next
I
slide. People
will.
are watching. Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Anyway, flooring. You're going to want to make sure the ground is completely covered. Right, and bicycle tires get dirty, you know, on the roads. So something durable. Concrete's a good option.
Really good option.
Yeah. Bamboo, live or?
I love that idea.
Yeah.
What about a floor of live bamboo?
Could get hard to find the bikes.
No, not a stand of bamboo.
Not a
Maybe-
stand, just like-
I believe you can train it,
Oh.
right? We just have it woven through.
I heard about that. I think they're doing that down in LA now, right? They're just growing their floors over the.
I know
it's
there's
like,
a couple startups in the Bay that
it's
are,
like a comb
that are really
over.
working on this. Yeah,
Like a
yeah.
comb
That's
over
relevant
for
to my
your
interest
floor.
as well.
Yeah.
Good.
That's a really good idea. We're going to add that to the notes. Thank you. Okay. So flooring, follow your bliss, I think, is the yeah. Let's go. Walls. Okay, so walls are important, right? Separation, you recall, is a core principle of bike shed design. And the walls are what separate the inside of your bike shed from the outside. Yeah?
But walls aren't required
No, I think they are.
for a bike shed, or just
Yeah,
not
for the
shed,
bike.
I'm sorry,
No,
for
I
a
mean
shed.
because walls are what keep people outside of the bike shed.
Doesn't it make it feel less welcoming though?
But separation is the principle.
But only for the wheels.
But the wheels are attached to the frame.
I'm not sure we talked about the frame. We covered the foundation.
Okay, maybe there's a little bit of wiggle room there.
All right, so let's table that
Okay,
discussion.
if you have walls, which I think you should, they should definitely go all the way from the ground to the ceiling. And you're going to want them to make sure that they're strong enough to withstand a little bit of rough housing, a bike bumping into them, a solid kick, yeah. But don't make them so thick that you actually fill up all the interior space, right? That's a beginner mistake. The
first proof of concept was built.
just a solid pile of
we tried to build a
concrete.
scale model using
Cinder blocks.
full-size materials.
Yeah. We realized only too late that there was no inside. But it was solid.
It was a very solid design.
It was extremely
the
solid.
architecture was perfect.
Unquestionable.
Our use case might have been a little scaled.
I still, from a massing standpoint, I still think it was our best effort.
So far, yeah.
Yeah, the shadows were lovely. The lines were okay. Anyway, all right. What else we got? The bike rack.
Oh,
Of
the most-
course.
yes,
Yes. The bike rack.
Excited about this one.
Yes. So, most importantly with a bike rack, you're going to want to make sure the wheels don't touch each other.
They can't touch.
Remember, core principles, separation of the two circles.
No touching.
No touching. Okay? So that's key. Beyond that, so people got to attach their locks to something, right? That's especially if you go if you don't have any walls. But if you don't have any walls, you're going to want to you're going to have to find something else to hold up the ceiling.
What
I just
about
thought of that. I just thought of that just
what
now.
about the bamboo? Like
You think
the
you could,
stand of bamboo, not or just
so?
posts. Like you can just do 4 posts.
Do you think we
and
get this
a shed? You know, just a
grow the
regular-
bamboo into posts?
At what point does a shed become a bike shed? Is it the addition of the bicycles, or is it the design from the outset as a
Oh,
bicycle?
dude, that.
And this gets a little bit meta. I mean,
That's
this
like
is
that's like
kinda
the
deep.
ship of Theseus, right?
We're
I
gonna have
mean-
to give this talk again.
Right. We're gonna have to. I mean, I think a part 2. Yeah. All right.
How much time do you guys have? You want to stick around for the rest of it? Oh, perfect. Wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, the bike. Yeah. So the bike rack. When you're choosing the bike rack, make sure that whatever you choose is something people can't easily break apart. So you want to use something like metal. String is not a good option.
Bamboo is probably not the best plan either. I'm gonna
Right.
I'm gonna backpedal a little bit on that one.
Well, that was for
Huh,
that was for the posts
bicycle fun.
for the ceiling. I mean, someone could break down the ceiling, but that'd just be mean. It wouldn't really do them any good, would it?
Well, unless they're in need of a ceiling.
That's true. I mean, housing costs and whatnot have really been skyrocketing.
That's true. So we were doing some envelope calculations on how much this would cost to rent per month
Yeah,
on Craigslist.
Yeah.
It's about 700 right now.
700 a month.
But it comes with bike storage.
Yeah, in the Bay Area, it'd be about 5,500. So,
But you're living alone.
yeah, but yeah, no roommates. So, yeah. All right. The roof. All right. So you got your biggies here, right? Plastic versus tin, right? It's a hard call.
In this climate, I think again plastic.
You think plastic versus your standard corrugated roofing, yeah. So those are both good options. I think there are solid arguments to make either way. I have sort of a nostalgic preference for tin. Just sort of harkens back to an earlier, more innocent time in our history, I think. But on the other hand, you can cut your hands very badly when trying to install it. So those are all important considerations. Do you value nostalgia or uncut fingers?
I believe that anytime I cut my fingers, I'm nostalgic for the times when
When they weren't
not.
cut. Yeah. Is that really okay? Yeah. Oh, then we have so some of the newer, fancier things on the horizon: glass and mirrored surfaces. Those can be fun. One word of caution here: if you do go with a mirrored surface, you're going to want to check the angle of the roof very carefully to make sure that it's not concave and that it's not pointed toward anything. There have been fires.
We have seen some fires.
Yeah, but that wasn't us.
Well, I mean
We don't know who that was.
Oh,
We don't know who that.
we've seen them. But
We
were
heard
not
smelled.
smelled.
We think, yeah. There were some other people who were maybe also building a bike shed in a similar area as us, and yeah, we heard about that, but it wasn't us.
Sometimes it's better to be the second consultant to the problem.
Yeah.
It's one of those times.
And then
Lesser materials.
the lesser materials, you got your thatch, right? Your large banana leaves, your peacock feathers,
Tarpaulin,
tarp, what?
plastic tarp,
Plastic tarps,
very popular.
easy to set up.
They're a good companion material if you have rusty tin.
Yeah, they go well with rusty tin. We did have a problem where I think it wasn't clear to everyone what the structure actually was.
That's helpful too.
Yeah.
Right, obfuscation. It's security through obscurity. I grant you that.
That's,
But with a city that has a lot of bike theft,
there's a strong argument.
It feels good.
It's a strong argument to be made for that. I mean, it's, your bike is most secure in the shed that nobody actually realizes is a bike shed.
Yeah, if it looks like a garden shed, you're doing awesome.
Who is going to venture into like a makeshift dwelling structure looking for bikes? Yeah,
Nobody I know.
things to consider. Okay, so all right. I guess in summary, what did we learn? Red. Yeah.
Red.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Red.
So learnings. Word etymologies are surprisingly useful and applicable in all areas of life, especially construction.
Agreed.
Yeah, and you can really, I mean, just exceptionally helpful for getting to the bottom of things. Get your dictionary out. That's all you really need. Portland's serious about building permits.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
actually very true.
I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah.
Right,
We're
apparently-
learning. These are our learnings, and we're hoping that we can share these with you.
Just pay the. I mean, you'll save yourself like a lot of grief if you'll just you pay the $50 up front. It isn't actually always easier to seek forgiveness than to ask permission. Turns out. Yeah. So, unrelated, if anybody knows of any like office locations opening for lease soon around, you might be interested in talking to you afterwards, and that would be great.
Especially if they're in need of a bike shed, because we've got a pretty solid referral.
At this point, we know exactly what we're doing. Yeah. Thank you all.
Thank you.